Good evening, everybody. We're going to be doing the extra practice for our probability. And we have 10 cards numbered 1 through 10 are mixed together, and then one card is drawn. Find the probability of each event, right? Each answer is a fraction, percent, and a decimal. Well, 12 says the card is 8. Well, if we have 10 cards and the card we're drawing is 8, then we must realize that we have one card out of 10. So if we have one card out of 10, we'll go ahead and get our writing tool here. Ready? Then that means we have one. Let's see here. 1 out of 10 will be our fraction. If you put that in a calculator, 1 out of 10 will also equal 0.1, which, if we move our decimal twice over, will give us 10%. Okay? So it's a 10% chance of the 8 being drawn. Number 13, I'm leaving for you, and I'll do number 14 since I'm doing all the evens. We have number 14 saying less than 5. Well, what numbers are less than 5? There's, of course, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that makes 4 out of 10 cards that are less than 5. So our fraction will be 4/10. Well, 4/10, of course, is the same as saying 0.4. And we'll show that on the calculator for those that are skeptical. If we take 4 and divide it by 10, we see that we get 0.4. See? Now, if we move the decimal over twice, we then see that we have 40% chance that it will be 1, 2, 3, or 4. In other words, cards that are less than 5. Number 16 would be our next one. And we see that they're saying odd numbers. Well, all the odd numbers that are less than 10 would be 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. As we can see, there's 5 cards there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to be 5 out of 10. And of course, 5 out of 10 is really 0.5. If we move that decimal over 2 spaces, we'll see that that's actually 50%. Number 18 will be our next one. Oh, I have to get back over there. Number 18 is not a multiple of 4. Not a multiple of 4. So if I'm saying that it's not a multiple of 4, then it has to be, let's see. If you think of multiples of 4, you know that out of 1 through 10, you've got 4. 4, and well, 4 times 2 would be 8, and you can't go higher than that because 4 times 3 would be bigger than 10. So there's 2 of them that are multiples of 4, but they're saying it will be not a multiple of 4. So if there's 2 that are out of 10, that means there is going to be 8 out of 10 that are not. And we can reduce that, of course, because they're both divisible by 2. And that means we're going to have 4 over 5, 4/5. Okay? And now we have to say, okay, how much is 4/5 is a decimal form? Well, in decimal form, 4/5 would be 0.8. And if we move our decimal over 2 spaces, that would be 80%. Number 20 is left. It says, is it divisible by 3? So divisible by 3. Well, 3 is divisible by 3. 6 is divisible by 3. And 9 is divisible by 3. So there's 3 numbers out of 10 that are divisible by 3. So we've got 3 out of 10. And then, well, what would that be as far as 2 out of 10 is going to be 30%. So that'd be 0.3. And then move the decimal over twice, it'd be 30%. Okay, let's go to the last part of the page. It says here, one of the students at Grant Middle School, or of the students at Grant Middle School, 63% are girls. The school newspaper is randomly selecting a student to be interviewed. Describe the complement of selecting a girl and find the probability of the complement. Write the answer as a fraction, decimal, and percent. Well, they said that 63% are girls, and they said the complement of selecting a girl. Well, remember what the complement is. Complement is basically the opposite, the other part of the 100%. Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm not doing the odd, so I'm actually supposed to go to the even one here. So let me go ahead and get refocused. The table shows the number of dogs and cats at a groomer. If a pet is selected at random to be groomed, find the probability that Patches the cat will be selected. Okay, for one particular cat to be selected out of all the cats and dogs at the pet groomers, we have to count up the total number of pets. We got 12 cats and 16 dogs. So that means, well, Patches the cat, as they call him, there's one chance out of, 12 and 16 make 28. So 1 out of 28 chances that that it's probable that Patches will be picked. And what would that be as a percent? Well, let's look at our calculator. 1 divided by 28 will equal 0.0357, so about 0.04. 0.04 if we rounded it up. And of course, that would be about, well, I guess a 4% chance, because if we move the decimal back twice, that's going to be, 4%. All right, the next part says, then find the probability that a cat will be selected. A cat. Okay, well, that's 12, let's see here. There's 12 cats, so that's 12 out of 28. And I think we can reduce that. 12 divided by 2, well, that's going to be, I'm going to go with 6. Let's see. And then 28 divided by 2, well, that's going to be 24. And those both still divisible by, looks like 6. I'm daring to say. Let's see if, oh wait, this is incorrect here. 24 is not correct. Let me correct that mistake right now. Half of 28 is actually 14. So we're going to have to go with 14 for that answer. My apologies. Now, now we can go ahead and say that 6 does not go into 14. Half of 6 is 3, though. Half of 14 is 7. So we can go ahead and divide these both by 2 again. And that will give us 3/7. And that will be our fraction now. Can't reduce that anymore. And what is going to be our decimal? So we'll have to break out the calculator again. 3 divided by 7. 3 divided by 7 will give us, looks like 42.428, which if we round up would be about 43. So we'll put 43 here, 0.43. And then if we turn that into a percentage, of course, we'll move the decimal over 2 spaces, which makes 43%. And that's all of the evens that I was going to do for you. It's on you to do the odds. Good luck and have a great night.